Multiple states have declared a state of emergency, and over 56 million people are under this right now. We have states Oklahoma, Michigan, California, and Utah under a state of emergency right now, over 56 million people. And we also have emergency situations in Florida and Illinois. We also have the Texas governor himself coming out and warning people to prepare now, get stocked up on supplies right now because an emergency could happen very soon. We're going to cover all these things, and they are also coming out on live television and admitting what we've all known, what we can all see, but they are now admitting it right in our face, and we're going to talk about that as well because they are finally revealing what is actually happening to our country. So we're going to dive into all this news here. Make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you hit that like, hit that sub, all that good stuff down there to get this video out to even more people. So let's dive into all this news. I wanted to give an update really quick of what's going on in Ohio because this is exactly what is the model for the rest of the US, and we can even see it happening in Florida as well. So we can see here residents in East Palestine are concerned about their home values from this train derailment. This is something I've brought up many times, how these people's homes are virtually worthless. Nobody will want to buy them. And what are they supposed to do? They can't sell their home. They can't move. They have all their equity, all their money, all their savings in this home, and they can't move. They can't get anywhere. And look at what happened in Florida. Homes were destroyed from these hurricanes, and now the government is coming in and forcing a buyout of their homes on the beach in St. Johns County. So this is what's happening. We are seeing this plan being set up where these disasters happen, these emergencies happen, they destroy people's homes, and then the government is going to come in and say, it is not livable here. This needs to be shut down. We are going to force you to leave your home, leave your land, and force you into these megacities. This is the plan that they want. We know that these things have been announced already, and they don't want you on your own land, growing your own food and being independent. And we're going to see more and more of these events where disasters wipe out people's homes and the government say, hey, it's too dangerous. It's not livable here. We're going to shut it down and we will just buy out your home, essentially eminent domain. And we even had Jamie Dimon, the head of JP Morgan, the biggest bank in the US, and he came out just last week and announced that the government needs to help the banks seize land from private owners so the banks can continue their investment plans. All right, they're saying they have all these plans, all these projects that they need to fund and people need more land for. And he was suggesting that the government should come in and take this land from people, force them off their land so the banks can have their projects that they want to have on your land. So this is a theme, a land grab, a land seize, and a private property seizure. We are going to see this theme come up more and more with the more disasters that we have. So let's get into the state of emergencies. State of emergencies have been declared in Oklahoma, Michigan, California, and Utah. And there's also emergency situations in Illinois and Florida. And the Texas governor is warning everyone to stock up right now for a major emergency. And this is pretty insane that he's warning of this because look at what happened just the other day in Florida. This test emergency alert was sent out to everyone's phones at 4:45 a.m. in the morning, waking everyone up. If you're in Florida, you probably got this alert, and you don't even have to have a Florida zip code or anything. It's geolocated. They know where your phone is. They know exactly where you are. And the government sends alerts out based on your location. They know exactly where your phone is located. And they only send alerts to people inside of Florida. This just happened. And it was a test. And Just what do you know? A coincidence. This is happening in the UK as well on Sunday, a planned event where they're going to send an emergency alert text to everyone's phone in the UK to test this system. So they're getting ready for something. They're preparing for something big. And the Texas governor is even coming out and saying that we need to get prepared for emergencies to happen as well. So what are the odds that this Florida test, this accidental test happens, and then a few days before the UK is going to do it, the same exact thing, an emergency alert text on your phone. They're getting ready for something big, and big things already are happening in states like Oklahoma, Michigan, California, Utah. We're going to get to all these states, but I wanted to hit Oklahoma first because they have been completely devastated. You can see here Governor Kevin Stitt declares a state of emergency for Oklahoma counties impacted by storms. And the National Weather Service reported that over a dozen tornadoes touched down across Oklahoma on the April 19 storms. So these tornadoes keep increasing in frequency, and they keep getting a lot more devastating and ruining whole communities. I've never seen this before. I've always seen tornadoes, but I've never seen them this destructive. And we're going to get to what they just admitted on live television in just a second that could be related to this. They came out on Good Morning America on ABC News and admitted this and made a whole segment on it. We will get to that in just a second. But these storms are increasing in frequency. They are getting a lot worse and more destructive every single time. And we are seeing a state of emergency in Michigan as well due to a very similar situation. So we have seen tons of storms, record snow, record precipitation in the northeast region of the U.S. and actually all over the U.S. In California, there has been record snow. Dahmer Pass in California has been breaking 75-year records. And now we are seeing a state of emergency declared in Michigan due to all the snow and the melt, and it is causing severe flooding inside of Michigan. So Governor Whitmer adds 6 Upper Peninsula counties to the state of emergency declaration in Michigan. And you can see here, roads are falling out from this washout. And this is dangerous because this can cut people off. This can strand people. This was happening in California a few months ago when we had this massive flooding before winter set in, and it was washing out entire roads. Entire communities were trapped, and they were not able to leave their home, go to the grocery store, get goods, because all the roads near their homes were washed out. And it's not like it was just washed out and there was some mud maybe you could drive over if you have a truck or something. The road is completely collapsed and it's impassable, and there's nowhere to go. And we're seeing this happen more and more frequently, and now they just added 6 more counties in Michigan as well from the state of emergency. We're also seeing a very similar situation in California. That's why I was bringing it up, because they have declared a state of emergency, and they actually just expanded the state of emergency to include more counties as well. They have had record snow, record precipitation, and some places they have been trapped from the snow for weeks and weeks. They had to wait weeks just for the roads to be cleared because it took the crews so long to get to them. And they were just trapped in 10 feet of snow with no resources, no supplies. This could happen. These things are happening more frequently, and we're going to get to what they just admitted on live television as well. We will also get to Florida, Illinois, and the Texas governor in just a second. But look at these roads being washed out. You could be trapped in a moment's notice, and you are stranded. No one can get to you. Emergency services can't get to you, and you can't get out as well. This is a very dangerous situation to be stuck in, and it is happening more and more frequently. Look at Utah. The same exact state of emergency has been declared in Utah due to extreme flooding from the snowcap melt. So this is affecting multiple states right now. And look at this entire community. This community was evacuated because of the extreme erosion and essentially creating many sinkhole situations over here from the flooding, because the ground in the west is not used to this rapid saturation of water, and it is mostly clay and it can expand very rapidly if it is soaked very rapidly, and it could cause displacement and to wash out. It could expand out of its area in the ground and wash out, especially new construction areas or new areas where it's been recently packed. And that's exactly what this looks like, is homes with scaffolding on them that are being worked on, and now their front driveway is completely washed out. And it was saying this entire neighborhood is being evacuated. So it is creating almost sinkhole-like situations all over the country where we normally don't even see sinkholes as well. We normally see them in places like Florida, where there's an oversaturation of the sand and it gives out, and we see something similar. But this is more of a washout situation with the clay here, right? And it's happening in Michigan, California, Utah. States of emergencies have been declared, and they're even warning that the mid-Atlantic states could be hit with more tornadoes. So we saw a dozen tornadoes hit Oklahoma over the past week, the past few days. Devastation there. They just keep getting hit after hit after hit. They already got hit a couple weeks ago with dozens of tornadoes. That region keeps getting hit over and over. And I know it is the season, but these are more devastating tornadoes than ever. And now they're warning of tornadoes in the mid-Atlantic region, which is up in like Pennsylvania and New York. Even that region, they're warning tornadoes are going to hit up there now. All right, so nowhere is safe. I remember about a month ago, there was a tornado warning for New York City, right around New York City. I was like, is this real? Like, what is this? There was no actual tornado, but they were giving warnings for right around New York City. Absolutely insane and crazy weather. And look at what they're admitting on Good Morning America. All right, this is completely real, and this was posted 3 days ago. Right? 3 days ago. They're admitting this. They're putting it in our face, and you cannot deny it. You cannot deny this. This is ABC News, Good Morning America. This is like as good as you're going to get for mainstream news admitting what's going on. So right here, they even tweeted it out. They had it on live television, and then they tweeted it out too to get it to everyone on Twitter. Because I don't watch ABC News, but I saw this tweet, and I was absolutely mind blown. And by the way, please go follow me on Twitter if you want to, just in case something happens to me on here. And sometimes I'm giving updates on there that I don't give on here as well, and takes on there that I can't give on here. But you can see here the Colorado River and its critical reservoirs, Lake Mead and Lake Powell, have seen historic lows, but, quote, cloud seeding could help give Mother Nature a boost. This is Good Morning America's official Twitter. They posted this on April 18th, 2023, just a few days ago. And they were saying Ginger Z, their lead meteorologist, is even talking about it. It says she has more on the technique, which is in use among 10 western states. And look at this. She's standing in front of a plane loaded with silver iodide flares. This is what you are seeing in the skies. This is what the spraying is in the sky. And there's actually multiple different kinds of spraying. So there is cloud seeding spraying, and then there is sulfur dioxide spraying, which is solar reflective spraying. It's to block out the sun. So there's spraying to create clouds, and then there's spraying to block out the sun, essentially mimicking volcanic activity by releasing sulfuric acid into the sky. Go look this up. It's completely real. This is admitted on mainstream news too, all right? Everything is admitted. It's all real. It's all in our face. It's just up to you to decide, are you going to believe this or not? This is real, all right? And they spray sulfur dioxide, which actually creates acid rain. All right, and it blocks out the sun. You've probably been seeing this all over your area, and the feds announced last October, I made an entire video on it. The White House even came out and said we are going to increase geoengineering and weather modification because there's a drought. And look at here, Colorado River in peril. They're saying we have to do this, and we have to cloud seed. And even right now, it's snowing like crazy. It's almost May here. And it was 75 degrees a few days ago. I was sweating like crazy a few days ago. And now it's snowing. They were spraying the skies like crazy. And now it's snowing again. And they're even admitting this. Look at this still from this video. They even call it weather modification. All right, so this is completely real, and they are using things like Harp to enhance it. So they spray this silver iodide into the skies. Silver is the most electrically charged metal, or the most electrically conductive metal on Earth. Silver is the standard for electric conductivity. For all other metals, they compare them to silver because it's the most electrically conductive. It's not gold, it's actually silver, and they spray silver iodide into the skies constantly, and they use electromagnetic frequencies to heat up the ionosphere and to create weather patterns mimicking the sun. So the ionosphere is constantly being hit by the sun and changing, the gases in it are changing form and creating different weather patterns, creating different excitements in different regions of the ionosphere, and eventually affecting the weather. And they use these instruments like Harp to excite and heat the ionosphere. And they are even saying that they are able to produce artificial ionospheric plasma generated by Harp radio waves. Okay, I'm just going to read this really quick. Our modern world, because this is completely true, these waves are everywhere and they are constantly interacting with the ionosphere. This is what they use for satellites, everything. So our modern world of Wi-Fi, smartphones, and location apps relies on radio waves to link up all of our gadgets. Most of us, though, are unaware of the ionosphere high above Earth affects the location of services on our smartphones and the direction of relaying by the navigation units in our cars. The complex dynamics of the ionospheric plasma, a gas of electrons and ions enveloping our planet, can be studied by research facilities such as the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, HARP, located in Alaska. During the past 15 years, HARP has produced many interesting and unexpected results, perhaps most spectacularly the production of an artificial ionospheric plasma generated by radio waves. All right, so they're even able to produce artificial plasma, which can produce lightning, which can charge the atmosphere and produce weather systems, and potentially even coordinate the direction of weather systems. Okay, I've showed all of these very suspicious weather systems that look like hurricanes over places like Michigan, all right, in Wisconsin. We have like hurricane-like systems forming, massive systems that have a eye. It doesn't make any sense. How are these generating this much energy without a water source, like the Gulf of Mexico, without a heated water source? How are they able to generate this much energy and this much force? And that's how hurricanes always form near Florida, is because they hit this warm water source. They're heated up, and that's what they're doing with the ionosphere. They're heating it up and exciting these storm systems and creating supercells with these high-powered radio frequencies. And right now, the White House is even moving towards 6G. 6G. This is absolutely insane that they are moving towards this. But 6G is now being developed. We already have 5G, okay? And this is related because these antennas are high-powered frequency, electromagnetic frequency antennas. And 5G is hundreds of times more powerful than 4G. And HARP is a high-powered radio frequency antenna. It's a very similar technology, and they are now putting these antennas all throughout the world. So they're able to manipulate the weather and heat the ionosphere even more directly with these antennas, and now they're working on 6G. And look at this, all right? This is what I've also been warning of too. This really shook me up when I read this, and really has me worried, because they're saying it's unclear what 6G will look like. The administration said it expects that by combining elements such as AI, advanced software, and cloud computing, and cutting-edge semiconductor chips, it can create faster networks to support applications in health, energy, transportation, water, and ag. So that's what has me worried, is 6G will be these high-powered frequency antennas, even more high-powered, but they will be integrated with AI, and they will be able to control the weather at an even more advanced level. Just like I was talking about how they are using AI. They're training it to read your brainwaves. I was citing articles on this just a few days ago. Go watch my video a few days ago about the panic one, prepare for panic. Go watch that video if you want to see all this broken down. But they're training AI to read your brainwaves. And now they will be training it to manipulate these frequencies in the best possible way to get whatever weather outcome they want. This is very scary, very dangerous to have this power of weather manipulation. This could wipe out crops. This could cause winter storms in the middle of summer that could wipe out our food supply, okay? It could cause situations like this in Florida right now. They're having a fuel emergency. It hasn't gotten better. The Ag Commissioner has now issued an emergency rule to get fuel to Broward because of all the flooding that has happened in Broward County, Florida, and Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And people, all the infrastructure is shut down. Everything runs on gas. Everyone needs a car to get to work, and all the roads are blocked and not able to deliver gas to people. Even if they got gas, even if they drone them gas, they can't drive anywhere because all the roads are blocked and they're trapped, and people are running out of food as well. People are running out of supplies. There's water bottle shortages. All these top things that you think about, the most basic needs, are gone right away in hurricane and weather situations like this. And this has been going on for about a week now. Week and a half now. This has been going on, and things are getting worse, and materials and supplies are running out quick. And that's why the Texas governor is warning people to stock up on supplies right now. He's warning people to get stocked up on your emergency supplies, and they have a tax-free weekend to buy emergency supplies in Texas, apparently. I didn't know they do this, but apparently they've been doing this for a little while, and they are even saying, get stocked up now. He's saying one of the best ways for Texans to protect themselves, their loved ones, and their property in the event of severe weather is to have an appropriate stock of emergency supplies on hand. This weekend, I encourage all Texans to take advantage of tax-free purchases on emergency supplies. So this is true. This warning is completely true. You need to get stocked up. I'm always saying stuff like this. Get stocked up on emergency supplies. Get stocked up on generators. All these things you can buy right now, and you are tax-free if you buy them in Texas, apparently. All right? Great program that they're having, and the governor's even saying, get this stuff now, get stocked up now, because things could get worse, and they probably are going to get worse with this weather modification. All right. We also saw a massive explosion at a grain facility in Illinois. So a massive fire, massive explosion, another one, and it's at a food processing facility, at a grain facility, and the explosion was at the grain elevators. All right, so it took them offline. They're not able to process grain right now, and it's just another massive coincidence. So make sure you guys are getting prepared. Make sure you are getting stocked up, especially if you're in these states. You need to be getting ready because this flooding is going to get a lot worse. It is just now starting to melt, and especially in places like California, it's saying it could melt for months and months, and places could just get flooded over and over and over and reflooded. And we might be in this situation where they might have to geoengineer even more, block out the sun even more to stop the snow from melting to cause another disaster. All right, we're just like in this pattern where we might have to keep manipulating the weather even more because we've already manipulated so much that we just have to keep going because the natural weather patterns are already so disrupted that if they just stopped, it might take a while to regenerate these natural weather systems, right? These natural weather patterns like El Nino, El Nina, all these different things that go throughout our country, it might take them a while to regenerate if they just stop, so they might just have to keep it going. So get prepared now, guys. Get stocked up now. Please hit it up down there if you want to help the channel. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.